At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, welcome. It's Monday. I know, rough weekend for everybody. My God, rough weekend for the Razorbacks, the Rams, my fantasy football teams outside of the Tuss Talk with Ty League. We got a lot of updates. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, there's stuff we're going to forget. I guarantee you there's going to be something we miss. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Actually, let's just do it this way, the old way. 3, 2, 1. Yo! What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Welcome to Tuss Talk with Ty. Hope you guys are doing swell. Hope your weekend got better at least. Hope it got better. Listen, like I said, there's so much to go over, right? A lot to kind of gloss over. Some of it we still want to respond to how things went down with the Liberty game, of course, and then you had a couple of Razorback players get arrested after the game down on Dixon Street. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. And I don't mean this like in a funny way or an ironic way, although maybe a little. Dixon Street will get you. Baker Mayfield put it best. Really unfortunate. We have, of course, Razorback basketball tonight. We're going to touch on that as well. We're going to touch on Razorback basketball just a little bit tonight. I don't know. We don't know what we don't know about Arkansas basketball. I'm going to pull up an article from Kevin McPherson on Hogville. We're going to go over it just a little bit. Tonight at 7, that's right, baby. Arkansas basketball taking on a very interesting North Dakota State team. I was thinking South Dakota State, North Dakota State. It's easy to get those two a little mixed up when you don't play them every year, and they're perceived as a weak non-con. I don't think they're weak. They had a pretty good year last year. Yeah, a lot of issues. A lot of stuff going on. Let's start off, too, with the good, right? Let's start off with the good, then we can get into the not-so-good. Let's talk about Arkansas football recruiting. Oh, my goodness. The Hogs get a good one. I'm going to tell you guys, this dude, Kavion Henderson out of Leeds, Alabama, 6'3", 235. According to 247, he's the number 195th player overall in the country. So he's a 247 top 200 player. He's top 20 in his position. He's a top 12 player in the state of Alabama. They produce, as we're all very well aware of. That state does produce talent, and to be in that top 20, top 15 is saying a lot. A lot of people going on and on about his offers. I want to stress that sometimes offers, they're nice to brag on. I do. I'll tell you, they've got X amount of offers, but that doesn't always mean what you think it means. It just doesn't. There is such a thing as a committable offer, and that's hard to tell what it is. You can reach out to other recruiting analysts on other sites, which I've done in the past. I didn't with Kavion. But I can tell you, there's players who were given high 3-star, high 4-star rankings. They end up with like 25, 30 offers, and you're like, wow. So you reach out to a couple of their websites, a couple of their people, you get in their DMs that run their 247s or whatever. This was back in the day. I haven't done that in a while. And you ask, how committable is that offer? And sometimes they respond. And I'll tell you, a lot of times it's like, yeah, but that was not a legit offer. Like that, it was a JIC offer, just in case. I don't think that's the case here. I do think Kavion is legit. Like, this dude's pretty solid, right? Only so much you could say about a 4-star prospect. Only so much you could say about a 3-star prospect. They're obviously a little more common than 5 stars. You know how this works out. Sometimes what they do in high school doesn't translate to college. They come over here. They don't. I mean, we see it all the time. We see it all the time with 4 and 5 stars. Well, not 5 stars at Arkansas, but you have seen it across the landscape where guys are highly recruited, ton of offers, and then they fall flat. They just don't accomplish much. But Kavion has a very high ceiling. And I think I have – do I have Otis on this week? I think I have Otis on Thursday for the Hogville LSU. God, that just seems like I don't even want to think about that right now. Like I'll be honest, I've only done a little bit of looking in on LSU, but we are going to have to cross that bridge. We're going to have to discuss it. And I still enjoy doing that. It just sucks after what we witnessed on Saturday. But we'll have Otis's thoughts on Kavion. I think we've briefly talked about him, but it's been a while since I've talked with him about anything recruiting because we've been so hyper-focused on the season. So, all right. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please fire away. Shout out to the show's sponsors. Apex Tattoo Studio. If you guys want to get some ink done, go to Rogers. Go to Rogers, Arkansas. 615 West Oak Street. 72756. Give them a call. Get inked up. 479-278-2694. That's Apex Tattoo Studio located in Rogers. Also, direct service overhead is back on this channel. They are also here. They offer same-day services, emergency service, 24/7, 365 days a year. Free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. Give them a call, 501-244-3667. They're playing basketball. What? We love the basketball. I don't know what that is. I guess that's a song. Hey, Ty. I'm always late to these. I'm just glad you guys are here. Make sure you slap the like button. Hit that like button. Do me a favor. Camo Gang says fast forward to Mizzou. Yeah, I know. You want to listen, that spread is interesting. But we saw what that got you against Liberty. You were double-digit point favorites against Liberty. Double-digit favorites. And you still lost this game by a couple of points. So I don't know. Take that for what you want. I don't know what people in Vegas are seeing with this. I don't know if it's because it's just always a fascinating game when Arkansas and LSU come together. I don't know. LSU favorite according to the ESPN Analytics, the Football Power Index. It's weird they took that name. They now just call it the Matchup Predictor. They took the FPI part of the wording or the definition out. I don't know if they just don't call it that anymore or if that's just an oversight. Maybe someone just forgets to have that in. I don't know. But now they just call it the Matchup Predictor according to ESPN Analytics. But they favor LSU at 72%. Arkansas's at 28%. I'll be honest, I'm surprised it's even at 27%. 27.6 to be exact. The spread it's -3 right now. LSU's picked to win this thing by just a little bit. 7-2 are the Tigers. 5-1 in conference play. Arkansas. Oh gosh, the over/under 62. They believe the game time weather at 11 o'clock is going to be 47 degrees, but I would take that with a grain of salt. What does Apple say? What's Apple telling us the weather? I'm always hesitant. Like, give me 2 days out, and then I'll start to believe, well, it's not pulling up. Here we go. Saturday, according to it says low 40s on Saturday. 41 degrees. Boy, oh boy, if that's the case, how many people are going to show up? How many people are going to show up if you're in the 40s? It's got to be high 50s, I think, for people to really and sunshine has to be in the forecast, which there is. I think it's partly cloudy skies. Well, I don't even want to talk about LSU yet, y'all. FBI has bad publicity now. I guess so. If we play anything like next week, LSU might score 50. I don't see us winning. Yeah. After 3 failed attempts to even move the ball on offense, they should have put Malik in at quarterback and let KJ see what was happening in the game from the sidelines. Yeah, a lot to discuss there as well. We'll get to that here in just a second. Let's continue on with this basketball talk here really fast. I know some of you are curious. The Bison tonight, again, that's 7 o'clock. I'm digging the 7 p.m. tip-off. I'm digging that. You guys, last year I think I said I would my perfect idea of time would be 6:30 tip-off, but beggars can't be choosers. North Dakota State, this is coming from Kevin McPherson over on Hogville.net. You guys know I work alongside them, and I'm growing their YouTube channel and promoting their work. There's the article if you want to go check it out. But he says down here below, North Dakota State preseason ranked 206th in Division I according to KenPom.com and picked to finish among the top handful of teams in the Summit League in 2022-2023. Among the top handful of teams. Comes into Monday season opener with frontline size. They do. They got a couple of 6'10", 6'11 guys. A mix of veterans and newcomers who will figure into the team's top rotation in a recent sizzling performance shooting from 3 in the Bison's final dress rehearsal on Wednesday. NDSU beat Division II Minnesota Crookston 98-64 in an exhibition game on Wednesday as the Bison were propelled by 15 of 34 effort from outside, from the perimeter, shooting 44%, while knocking down 21 of 37 field goals inside the arc, shooting roughly about 56.8, so roughly 57%. Wow. They were 11 of 21 from the free throw line. Okay, that's abysmal. That's terrible. That's 52%. That is atrocious. You guys know me. I'm big on the free throw line, man. You need to be north of 70. You need to be in the low 70 percentile on a given year, right? That's where you want to be. Game to game, yeah, you would love to be 75, 80%, but that's hard to do anywhere. NDSU ripped down 51 rebounds, handed out 19 assists on its 36 field goals or made field goals, committed 20 fouls, suffered 11 turnovers, blocked 6 shots, and claimed 6 steals. Junior Grant Nelson, 6'11 forward. That's right. Like I said, they got some bigs. He had 17 points and 8 rebounds, so nearly put together a double-double. Averaged almost 12 points. Averaged 11.6 points, 50% field goals, including 32% from outside. That's not shabby. I wonder how many attempts that is, though. 4.9 rebounds per game. You expect a little more. But if they ran big last year, if they had a couple bigs down low, down in the paint, that might explain why his rebounds aren't a little. I don't know. 5 rebounds isn't terrible, but I was going to guess like 7, 8 rebounds a game. And about a block a game and 21 starts a year ago. Sophomore Andrew Morgan, another 6'10 guy, 6'10 forward, finished with 22 points on Wednesday, while junior Bowden Skunberg, that is an epic last name, Skunberg. You guys remember that tonight when you hear his name called. 6'5 guard, chipped in 10 points. Those two combined to average 11 points, nearly 7 rebounds last season. So they've got some size. They've got some experience. They're kind of a mixed bag. Arkansas is kind of a mixed bag as well. Don't know what the starting 5 is going to look like tonight, but I feel like I don't know, man. They always get off to slow starts, and you're facing a team that's not half bad in their division. And he's got it mapped out here for you. He's got the 5 things that need to happen. So, again, I don't want to read all that. I don't want to spoil it all. I think you need to read this article. It's a really good article. Kevin kills it in these articles. So Arkansas 5-1 overall in exhibition games. That's 4-0 during the European Tour in August, followed by a 1-1 mark in October. They'll look to win their fourth straight regular season opener under fourth-year head coach Eric Musselman. Yeah. 11 newcomers among the 13 scholarship Razorbacks this year. So, yeah. Free throws and layups are key. I agree. How do you get 40% on three and 50% free? Yeah, that's a good question. Typically teams, I mean, this isn't always the case, I guess, but typically teams that have a couple of shooters outside, a couple of guys that can knock down mid-range or beyond the arc, outside the perimeter. Typically those teams that are good at that seem like they also are pretty solid at the free throw line. I don't know how they shot so poorly at the free throw line. That's god-awful. The SEC needs to shake things up. The East is a joke. Georgia has easiest road. I don't know. I think that's up for debate. I mean, I don't know who's tougher, which side of the division is honestly tougher, because it's just been such a crazy year. It's been a crazy year. Who the hell would have thought the top two teams, or who would have thought that Ole Miss would be in the mix at 8-1 right now? Do I think they're a top 10 team? Hell no, I don't. But they get Bama. But who would have thought LSU would be at the top 5-1 in conference play? Ole Miss right behind them at 4-1. Alabama at 4-2. Mississippi State 3-3. Who would have guessed that coming into this week? This late in the season. Going into week 10, right? Is it week 10? Arkansas's played 9, so yeah, I guess that's 9 plus your bye. I wouldn't have guessed this. I would not have guessed this. I also wouldn't have put Tennessee behind Georgia, although it wouldn't have shocked me. Kentucky is not the team that everyone said they were. I'm shocked by that. Not really. Told you guys earlier on in the year, I think they're the biggest, they're the most propped up team between them, and really Ole Miss is the most propped up team, maybe in all of college football. I think only because of Lane Kiffin. But they are 7-1 or 8-1, and they are 4-1 in conference play. So say what you want about where they're at. I still don't think, based on what I've seen, they don't look anything like a top 10 team. I don't think they're deserving. I think right now they're 11th in all the polls, right, or somewhere around there. I know the AP, I think, still has them at 11th. LSU's number 10 in the country. Is LSU a true top 10 team? Man, I don't know. They're a weird team too, man. I mean, early on in the year, they lost to Florida State 24-23. They barely beat a horrible Auburn team 21-17. They got smoked by Tennessee. They beat Florida on the road, which I'm always going to tip the cap. I think it's tough to win there, and I think it's tough to win in Death Valley. But they did win that game by 10. They smoked Ole Miss. That's kind of the game where you look back and you go, "Oh wow, okay, they beat those guys 45-20. Maybe there is something to it." And then they beat Alabama the week after that. But Ole Miss for me is kind of what started it, because I thought Ole Miss and LSU were equal or around the same. Didn't buy into Ole Miss being a top 10 team. At the time, they were top 8, top 10 in the country. And Ole Miss smoked them. Or, excuse me, LSU smoked Ole Miss. And I told you guys, they're pretenders then. I just thought LSU was, they got smoked. They got smoked by Tennessee. They barely beat a bad Auburn team. They lost to Florida State 24-23. They weren't really anything, I didn't think anything special. When they beat the hell out of Ole Miss, that got my attention. Because I don't see Ole Miss as a team that should be getting curb stomped by people, and winning 45-20 is a curb stomping in my book. I don't know about you guys. And then they get by Alabama. What a game that was. So I don't know. The SEC's tough, man. It's tough to figure out. I don't know who's better. I think the West is better. I do think LSU could probably beat just about everybody over there except Tennessee and Georgia. I think they should beat Kentucky. They would beat Florida, definitely beat Mizzou and Vanderbilt. However, in the West, They might. I mean, they might be a one-loss. They are right now. They're undefeated in SEC West play. They're undefeated in SEC West play. SEC overall play, they're 5-1. Like I said, they lost to Florida or Tennessee. Excuse me. They might run the tables in the West, man. Ole Miss, yeah, I think they're going to get curb stomped. I think Alabama's going to beat the hell out of them. Don't see that one going well. Mississippi State 6-3. That's not overly surprising, but I think Arkansas at 5-4. At this point in the year, had you told me that in the beginning of the year, I would have been a little bit surprised by that. Not knowing who all the losses were and not knowing everything that we know now. Yeah. Georgia trying to become the new Bama. Well, is Saban out? Is his time done? Is the dynasty over with? I think he's the greatest head coach in college football history. I don't know. Maybe you guys think I'm crazy for thinking that. I think the majority of you agree with that. He's the greatest head coach in the history of the game, and we might be seeing the end of the Alabama, the expectation that Alabama should run the SEC West. That at least is at stake here. With the losses they now have, they're now 7-2, 4-2 overall in conference, 7-2 overall record. Talking about the arrest over the weekend, kind of feels like everything's kind of crumbling. It feels that way. I don't know how Sam Pittman handles this. I'll be honest with you. I don't even like talking about the players' names. I don't like putting that out there. I just don't. I realize they're of age. They're both 18 and older. I just don't like. I don't know. I don't like talking about their names. I just don't want to. I don't know. I guess it's different though, because guys that are 21 and above in the NFL, we say their names all the time, or at least other people do. I mean, and that's whatever, and I have before. But I don't know that I would want my name out there. But we all, if you don't know, I mean, just look it up. Not hard, but both of them are guys that play in the secondary. One of them is a starter. And it's unfortunate. I don't know how Sam Pittman handles it. I don't know if this – I mean, of course it's an in-house thing. They're all in-house. Someone asked me about that Sunday. How does he handle this? Is this an in-house thing? Well, it's all in-house. Of course it is, right? Don't know. I don't know what they do. Sam will tell us here in about half an hour. We'll find out, which I'm going to have to end this thing here in about 15 minutes. But it is unfortunate. They were arrested Sunday morning at 2 a.m. I believe it was off Dixon Street. Is it the sign that everything's kind of falling apart for Sam? Is he losing the locker room? I don't think so. I mean, I think kids make stupid decisions. I think is this the first time he's had a player arrested since he's been the head coach? Am I forgetting somebody? Has someone else been arrested? Because I really don't recall. Maybe year one when he got here. Maybe someone got in trouble in the offseason. Trey Williams. Are you saying Trey Williams? Trey Williams got arrested? I don't remember that. Oh, Hunter. Yeah, Yurchek. Yeah, that's true. Yep. That's right. Okay. Before the bowl. That's right. I just don't remember. So I mean, I don't think he's losing the locker room. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just. I think that's just kids being kids. He can't control them all off the time. Once they leave the campus, I mean, you just got to hope these kids use good judgment, and they didn't. What's the over-under on Musselman taking his shirt off? Oh, someone says it's 6.5. Luli says it's 6.5. That's funny. I hope not. Not for NDSU, man. I hope not. Unless you just completely rout these guys, right? Unless it's a, I don't know, 84-44 or something, like a complete ass whooping. And even then, I don't know if you want to do it. I don't know. Saban is the greatest, but he is falling off now. Sounds like Slush was drunk. Oh, I shouldn't have. I didn't want to say that. So-and-so was drunk. Brown could have been getting abused a bit. Well, if that was the case, because he's under 21, and I didn't see that in the police report. Then again, I briefly looked at it. I saw it. When did I see it? Last night. I think it was last night. Yeah, he's under 21. I don't think that was in the police report. I don't think he'd been drinking. In fact, I don't know that. I mean, maybe they were. They didn't smell it on him. I don't know. Wasn't it at a bar? Well, yeah. I mean, you can go to a bar and not drink, Mike. I mean, I maybe he had been. I just didn't read that in what I saw. Like I said, I glanced over it. I didn't read it. It wasn't a real long police report. You can actually read the officer's what he filed in the report. You can read that. That is public, and it is out there if you want to go read it. We just got retweeted by a Liberty Twitter handle or a Liberty website, Flames Wire. So if there's any Flames fans in here, welcome. GG. Good game. That was a good game. Definitely for you guys. I was drinking at 18. Right. I'm just saying you would think they would file that if they were drinking, right? That's all I'm saying. I have no idea. Did y'all see Hugh Freeze cutting a promo for the Auburn job Saturday night? I saw where he said he's won everywhere he's been. What are the odds that he takes that job? And I don't know. So there's been some really good points on this. Why would you leave Liberty to go take over a job like Auburn? Why leave the comfort? Aren't they in Virginia? Isn't that where Liberty's at? Aren't they kind of nestled in the Virginia Hills? I don't know. Is that a thing? Do people say that? The Virginia Hills? Why would you leave that and go join a job where you may not have a job in 2 or 3 years and you're out coachless? I don't know. Auburn doesn't have the best reputation how they handle their head coaches. Then again, a lot of schools don't. I don't know. Maybe he should stay put. Then again, you have facilities, you have some history there at Auburn, you have, they've won titles, they can recruit at a really high level. I mean, I kind of thought Gus was going to stay at Auburn and just win, be a playoff contender, was going to go toe-to-toe with Auburn. I kind of thought that might be something that he was able to accomplish at Auburn. I kind of get if you were an Auburn fan, your expectations are we need to be in the conversation of not only just beating Bama every year or going toe-to-toe with the likes of Bama, but we also need to be in the conversation of winning the SEC West and making it to the playoffs. And Gus wasn't doing that. So I understood. But, to Otis Kirk's point, they don't have a great reputation when it comes to hiring head coaches. Or in terms of what they do with those head coaches. You go back to Gene Chizik. I mean, I thought, man, that was a weird situation. The way they handled and the way they kind of botched the ending of Gus's career. And then Brian Harsin. You saw what those boosters did a year ago. I think it was Dudley that told us that it was absolutely an internal issue at Auburn with the boosters and with the higher-ups or with the upper echelon boosters causing trouble. Do you want to walk into that if you're an Auburn or if you're Hugh Freeze? The scrutiny you're going to face if you don't have immediate success within the first year or two? And that's kind of one of the things I think should make the Arkansas job more appealing, is that you're not going to face that kind of scrutiny, and if it's not that hard to win over the state. Sam Pittman won 8 regular season games a year ago, and damn near people wanted to build that man a statue. We all sung his praises. I guarantee if they said, all right, we're going to spend $20 million and we're going to, I don't know how much statues cost. I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe I should Google that. But we're going to spend probably $20 million is a little much for a statue. We're going to spend X amount of millions of dollars, and we're going to build him something similar to the Hog Fountain, right? We're going to build him that after 8 wins. I guarantee you nobody would have complained about that. That's what you would think would make this job more appealing. But apparently that's not necessarily the case. Gunhand, I've never seen your name before. You're either a lurker or you're new to the channel, but welcome. Let's see what you have to say. Hopefully you're kind here. Okay, let's be honest. We all really like Coach Pittman, but he or his staff have been making some very poor decisions in coaching lately. We as fans expect better. This has to turn around soon. Yeah. Sounds like you're talking about Arkansas. What do you mean? What did I say that made you say that? Dude at Alabama smacked a girl and he still played. Ooh. It's a truth bomb right there. Yeah. Super chat is up. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, hey, if you want to join Patreon, you want to do either one of those things, I would greatly appreciate that. Remember to like the stream if you guys could, share it, subscribe, all that stuff. The talent evaluation with this staff is very questionable. I think some of the, Quincy McAdoo to me is the most interesting thing. Offered out of high school. Look, some schools offered him to play in the secondary. Otis Kirk said he might be as good as a defender. He might be as good as a defensive back as he is a wide receiver. I don't know if everybody gave him that same kind of evaluation, but Otis saw it. I can remember Otis saying that before they ever moved McAdoo to the secondary, which is one of the reasons why you guys need to follow him and read what he says. All those guys on Hogville know what the hell they're talking about. Some good stuff out there. And listen to what Otis says on Hogville YouTube, on Hogville Net YouTube. He gives you, if you pay attention, you're getting some really good shit here. Or at least over there. I don't know about here, but over there you are. But the evaluation on him, he's not going to break in. The way I look at that, he wasn't going to break out in the receiving corps. He was making plays during fall camp. He had a couple of moments in fall camp, but everybody knew he was going to fall down the depth chart, might get to play during the last 2 or 3 games of the year, depending on what the situation is at wide receiver. There was that feeling that he might make the field at some point, but only enough to not burn his red shirt. But everybody knew the guy could play corner. Everybody knew the guy could play in the defense. Something tells me they knew the secondary, there was something going on. They had a hunch. Something wasn't right. Now, they did brag on the receivers a lot. All of media did. I was there, and I told you guys on Twitter, every day a wide receiver is making a play. I sat here and told you guys I think the wide receivers could be pretty good, could be special. And I think the numbers are starting to back that up a little bit. We're starting to see that a little bit more now that Arkansas's throwing the ball a little bit more. Maybe that's just the natural state of things. When you throw the ball more, you're going to increase the numbers and the odds and what have you. But I think what we were really seeing, and we missed it, and that's hard to evaluate. It is, but I did make a note of it. Corners falling down on routes, getting beat, receivers having 2 or 3 steps on separation. But it never occurred to me maybe they're just really that bad. So here's my thinking. You would think the guys that are paid, some of them paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, others paid millions of dollars. You would think during that period, knowing that Quincy McAdoo is a solid guy on the defensive side of the ball, why wouldn't they try that out more during fall camp? And listen, maybe they thought, no, we think he's going to break out as a wide receiver, and that's fair because he was a damn good wide receiver in high school as well. I don't know if he's a better receiver than corner or not. We don't know enough about that. We don't have enough of a sample size to know that. What I have seen, or what we saw Saturday, the guy blocked a punt. Now, he's played special teams, okay? But then he also looked pretty decent covering in the secondary. Had a pick. Great interception. Just took the ball away from the guy. I don't know. You could say that. You could talk about the Reed Bauer-Fletcher situation at punter. Why do they keep trotting Fletcher out there? Was there something going on with Reed Bauer that told them that guy shouldn't be out there? You go back to the A&M game, or excuse me, the Mississippi State game, and who came out and started at quarterback, and who closed the game out at quarterback with us all talking about, wow, we've seen some progression out of Hornsby. You could talk about these things that they've missed along the way, and I think they're really solid points. But it's hard to do. Like, I'm not going to put this on the staff. I'm not going to say that they're all horrible at evaluating. They did win 9 games a year ago, after all. They did start the year out on a pretty positive note, although they were, probably should have put those teams away sooner. But now, knowing what we know about this Razorback football team, there are a lot of questions about this team. And maybe the evaluation of these guys is when. And I've kind of brought this up before. I think I brought it up in a Discord live or somewhere. It might have been a Marco Polo video, but I brought this up. I kind of wonder what is going on with the evaluation of some of these players. You can't get it right across the board. My God, rarely anybody does, right? You're going to miss someone not playing when he should have played sooner, and there might be reasons behind that. Could be disciplinary, right? Could be off-the-field issues. Could be maybe he had a nagging injury we just didn't know about, right? Like, only the staff knows that, which is why it's hard for me to say, well, they're horrible at evaluating their players. That's hard for me to say because I don't know. There's stuff going on behind the scenes that we just don't know. But something isn't adding up with this football team. You had the 3-game losing streak, losing to teams like A&M, getting absolutely curb stomped by Mississippi State. There's more to that. You didn't have KJ, but and then, of course, the loss to Liberty. There's something not adding up with this team, and you could throw that up against the wall, see if it sticks. Maybe it is an evaluation issue. Why wasn't McAdoo? Why wasn't he involved in fall camp in the secondary? Or did you just miss it like everybody else? Maybe they missed it, and then again, that speaks to evaluation. I don't know. There's just stuff that we don't know, and I can tell you that as someone who is there, who has been on campus, who's been inside the indoor practice facility, who sits on the sidelines and watches them during practice throughout the week. I was there through fall camp. I'm up in the media box. I'm talking. I'm listening. Nobody knows except Sam Pittman and his staff what's really going on behind the scenes. I don't think they're losing the locker room. Now, if you start seeing some more arrests and some tomfoolery happening, right? That might be another. We might have to come back to this topic. I don't know. Here's the hard truth about Razorback football. They're not good. Some of you are going to say, well, no shit. And right. But you got to understand, me saying that is going to piss a few people off. And some people just want to reject that. Well, it's injuries. It's this, that, and the other. No, they're just not a good football team. They're not a good football team. It was never about the injuries. It seems like they have struggled, whether it's opening quarter, slow starts. They average something like 5 points every first quarter this year. It's like 5 points when you do the math. I think it's maybe 6. How many points did they score against Liberty in the first quarter? And yeah, how many points did they score total? I get it, but they were shut out. They were shut out in the opening quarter. They were shut out 90% or 80% of this game to Liberty. You go back to Auburn. They scored 7. They outscored Auburn 7-3. Go back to BYU. They were outscored 13-7. Mississippi State 14-0. Yeah, quarterback situation, I get it. But still. Alabama 14-0 opening quarter. These slow starts and getting shut out by the likes of Liberty. Now, I sit here and told you guys, they're good up front on the defensive line. Guess what? Coming out of this week, they're number 1 in tackles for loss in the country. They're number 1 in sacks. 14 plays for netted negative yardage? They had 14 tackles for loss? What the hell? I mean, we're talking about the same team that barely beat Southern Miss 29-27, that barely beat UAB at home 21-14. They beat Akron 21-12. Gardner-Webb, tell me where that university is. 21-20. Arkansas is just not good. They're not a good football team by any stretch of the imagination. When I picked Arkansas, my too early pick was 9-3, right? And then I told you guys going into and I still believe they could that 9 was at least in their ceiling. But when I went down a game, when I said, no, my official prediction, the week that Arkansas played Cincinnati, my official prediction, when I said 8-4, a lot of you jumped down my throat. Several of you, I had a couple of DMs. They weren't too bad, but still, I'm not saying I saw anything. I just thought, well, I don't know. I had some questions, right? I didn't think they were this bad. We were all wrong. Everybody, media, majority of fans, your cousin Al, your Uncle Rick, everybody was wrong on this. These types of losses are supposed to be behind you, and they're clearly not. Sam Pittman absolutely deserves criticism. None of this staff, Hunter Yurchek included, who got his raise before you played this game. I wonder if he would have gotten it after this loss. And you can't put it on Hunter. I get that, but still, would you ask for the $500,000 after this loss to Liberty? Of course not. And they have turned it around. I'm not saying that Sam Pittman's a bad coach. For anybody who's going to throw some bullshit at me, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. Is what we said when they first hired Sam, maybe that's a little closer to being accurate when we said he's the in-between hire. He's the guy that's going to build the foundation. And I think he's done a decent job of that. You still got some games left. You still got LSU, Ole Miss, Mizzou. We'll see what they do. I don't know that they lose out or not. I don't know. I'm done making that prediction. I'm over it. Like, whatever happens, happens. Thank God basketball's here. Thank God baseball. The expectations are really high for baseball once again. And guess what? They usually live up to it, right? Basketball has for the last 2 years. Football, the main moneymaker, looks to be this year, for those of you who get your panties in a bunch when I talk badly about this football team, this year, they look like a mess. Far better. If Chad Morris was your head coach the last 3 years, you probably have 6 combined wins in 3 years. Look what Sam's done. The job, and I said this on the postgame show on both, I think, Hogville and Tustock, the call-in show, which, by the way, was yet another rousing success. I'm happy to get like one call. The fact that these calls just keep racking up, man. Keep calling in. I'm loving it. I'm loving that content. It is fire. But like I said, the job that he did in year 2 to turn this program around was incredible. I think what we overlooked was the super seniors, was Treylon Burks, right? I think that's some of the stuff that we missed. Blake Kern, who was an excellent – I mean, I don't know. Blake Kern – I liked Blake Kern's play at the end of the year. I don't know if you're missing him a whole lot this year because Trey Knox has looked pretty good. Let's be real. But he had some great moments. As far as a pass and run blocker, that dude was pretty damn solid. I don't know that Trey is that level of blocker, although he has really impressed me, even though he's not going to get the 40-plus catch total I thought he would. But he leads the receivers in all the entire receiving core in receiving touchdowns with 5. But Arkansas is not trending in the direction we thought they would. They're going backwards, and Arkansas fans do deserve better. I do agree with that. But let's hope Sam Pittman gives us a little bit more of an explanation today here in about 10 minutes. I really need to get off here. But it's unfortunate that things are where they're at with this football program. This type of game should be behind you, and it's not. Is Arkansas a baseball school, and fans just have a hard time acknowledging that? Maybe that's the case. That's often a conversation I have with a few people. They're a baseball school, Ty. Fans just need to get behind the idea of that. Well, you might be right. Hopefully they're a basketball school. Hopefully Eric Musselman can get it all done this year. But football right now, it's sad that people have turned the page. And really, they turned their page even after Auburn. They were over it. They were still over it. A lot of people were telling me I'm just still not expecting much. And one individual, what he told me, he's dead on. I mean, he said, I even though he thought we were all reeling, he thought we were overreacting to the Auburn and BYU wins. He said those are trash teams. He might be right. If Arkansas loses out, change has to happen. Hell, I think even if you win one more game, just one more game to make a bowl, that shouldn't excuse what we've seen this year. That'll make it a little easier, but it doesn't excuse it. They're going to have to make changes. I don't see them winning out, but if they did, then we'd have to revisit this conversation. So, all right. I am debating on doing a post-game show tonight. If I do one, it'll be on Hogville. It'll be on Hogville if I do a post-game. Bobby Swain, I like Coach Pittman, but, man, you can't be losing to Liberty year 3. Exactly. You just can't. Can we beat LSU? Can we win any of the last 3 games? Not if we play like we did against Liberty. Thoughts? Yeah, no. Yeah, if you play like you did against Liberty, man, you're gonna get run out of your own stadium. I mean, they're definitely not winning another game. But they're gonna have to make some changes. I don't care if they're bowl eligible or not. They're gonna have to make some changes in the offseason, for sure. Scott Swindle says, "No, we need to keep Sam for a couple more years." Well, I wasn't saying you need to fire Pittman. If you're talking to me, I'm definitely not saying that. You can't overlook what he did do. I mean, regardless of what he had on the table a year ago, regardless of the super seniors and all that, and regardless of all the things that he benefited from, so did everybody else. Maybe we overlooked some of that a little bit, Morgan and Henry, but the job he did was incredible, and that did buy him time. Make no mistake about it. Absolutely. He deserves that time, but the question is, what kind of changes do they need to make on the staff, right? Okay, I'm going to go to the Sam Pittman Zoom call. Again, if we do a post-game, it'll be on Hogville Net YouTube. So, tonight, maybe I'll see you, but just stand by. I'll let you guys know if we're going live in Discord, and I'll try to do it on Twitter as well. Thank you guys so much. Please remember, we're under 20 likes. Let's hit the like button before on your way out if you guys would. I would greatly appreciate that. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and check out Patreon and our Discord as well. Patreon goes towards keeping this channel alive. And a shout out. Look at all you Patreon. Look at all you lovelies. For the month of October, you guys are rock stars, by God. Win or lose. Win or lose, you guys are here. I love it. I love it. All right. Hopefully, probably, more than likely, I will see you guys tonight in the postgame show. Woo pig.